This is for read back, so it will be slower than normal practice. We have Mr. Schaefer for defense, Mr. Rush for plaintiff. I am the witness.
I am Mr. Schaefer for the defense.
I am Mr. Rush for the plaintiff.
Okay, let's start on page, the second page. Up at the top.
Okay, begins with a question by Mr. Schaefer. For the record, about when do you recall the first time you had a problem with your feet?
Speaking about his employment with Thrifty.
Any kind of a problem with your feet.
I have a club foot.
And is this something that was diagnosed and treated when you were a child?
Yes.
How old, if you can recall, were you when you had the diagnosis of a club foot?
The day I was born.
At what point did you receive any treatment for the club foot problem?
I received treatment on my foot from the day I was born until I was 12 or 13 years old.
When you're talking the day you were born, did they put casts on your foot? Have you been advised of that kind of treatment?
I had casts.
Did you ultimately have some kind of surgery on your feet?
Surgery on my left foot.
And that was when you were 12?
Last surgery I had, I believe I was 12.
Other than the club foot problem with your left foot, prior to the time frame of August of 2002, had you had any other problems with either of your feet?
Except on a few nails and things, I don't think I had any other problems.
One of the indications in the medical records is that you have hammer toes?
Yes.
At what point did you begin to develop what the doctors have described as hammer toes?
Well, I had it medically described to me on August 30th, 2002. Up to that point, I was experiencing severe pain to the ingrown toenails for about 6 months prior to that, maybe a little more.
Who had been treating you for the ingrown toenails?
No one.
What were you doing to treat them?
I was trying to keep them cut and trimmed. I was also wearing pads in between my toes.
What has been described as hammer toes? Can you tell me which of your toes have these problems?
The toes on the third, fourth, and fifth toes on each foot show some degree of deformity.
And just so I'm clear, does the distal phalanges of your foot bend down? Is that what the deformity is we're talking about?
Well, they bend down and in like this. Take your finger and twist it.
Is it at the distal joint on the third, fourth, and fifth toe that you have this problem, or do you know?
Well, I don't know what joints specifically is causing the bend.
But it flexes and internally rotates on all of those toes. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
At what point do you recall first noticing this deformity was developing in your toes?
January, February of 92.
Was it causing you any pain or discomfort that you were aware of?
A lot of pain.
Did you seek out any medical advice for the pain in your toes at that point?
Yes.
Who did you talk to?
Dr. Alcala.
And what did Dr. Alcala tell you about your feet?
Told me to get off my feet for 15 minutes every 2 hours.
When did he tell you that? Can you give me your best estimate?
April, May, somewhere around there of 02.
Did you tell your employer that you were supposed to stay off your feet 15 minutes every 2 hours?
Yes.
How did you tell him about that personally? Did you give him some note from the doctor?
Letter from Dr. Alcala. So read your note.